I am employed at a charming jewelry store situated within the confines of a remote and quaint Canadian mall. This cozy establishment is nestled far away from the bustling cityscape, exuding an air of serene isolation that lends it a distinct and enchanting allure. Within its inviting walls, I have not only found gainful employment, but also a profound sense of purpose and enjoyment. This is primarily owed to the remarkable camaraderie shared among my delightful coworkers and a consistently pleasant interactions with our esteemed clientele. The rhythm of my days is orchestrated by the mall's meticulously structured schedule, a harmonious arrangement that ensures my workdays conclude promptly at 6 p.m. This in turn affords me ample time to engage in various social pursuits and dedicate myself to focused study beyond the store's confines, enriching my life in multifaceted ways. The mall itself, a single-loop arrangement adorned with an eclectic mix of approximately 50 operational stores, each contributing its unique character to the vibrant tapestry of this retail haven. The workforce, a dedicated assembly of around 30 individuals, is thoughtfully divided into two distinctive groups. One contingent diligently oversees administrative matters, ensuring the smooth operation of this microcosm of consumer paradise. The other, numbering around 15 individuals, assumes the critical mantle of security, safeguarding both the premises and the well-being of all who traverse its halls. As a conscientious and full-fledged member of the mall's bustling ecosystem, my professional journey has been frequently intertwined with that of the dedicated security team. Our paths often converge during moments of need, whether it be seeking their escort during late-night inventory checks to ensure an added layer of safety or relying on their invaluable assistance in managing the occasional vexing customer. Over the course of my tenure, I have had the privilege of cultivating meaningful connections with several of these security personnel, with 3 individuals in particular leaving an indelible mark on my work-life tapestry: Will, April, and Mark. Will, with his effervescent disposition and perpetually sunny demeanor, consistently brightens the early morning hours with his warm greetings. A friendly visage, he would often pop into my store, infusing the day with a palpable positive aura that could lift anyone's spirits. April, on the other hand, assumes her security role with an unwavering commitment to protocol, and her expertise in diffusing conflicts and ensuring order during tense and challenging situations is nothing short of remarkable. In the realm of security staff, Mark, often associated with the evening shifts, is characterized by his reserved demeanor. It is a demeanor that, while polite, carries an air of quiet mystery, adding an intriguing layer to our encounters. However, the passage of time ushered in a significant change, a schedule realignment that subtly reconfigured our interactions. Will embarked on a new assignment involving parking lot patrols, a transition that subtly altered the cadence of our exchanges. April found herself predominantly manning evening shifts, and Mark, a guard of the night, now assumed daytime responsibilities. While this restructuring did not herald catastrophe, the absence of Will's cheerful morning salutations and April's steadfast presence during tumultuous moments was keenly felt. Mark, while perhaps quieter than his counterparts, still warranted a smile from me during our passing encounters. On occasion, I lent a helping hand during incidents of shoplifting, fostering a sense of camaraderie, albeit of a more fleeting nature. Despite my best intentions, these interactions did not blossom into the deeper friendships that had characterized my rapport with Whittle and April. Regrettably, this tepid equilibrium was destined to be disrupted. Around 2 months subsequent to the reconfiguration, an unsettling encounter with Mark unraveled the uneasy peace that had settled. A seemingly innocuous remark in a mall corridor unveiled an unsettling undercurrent, hinting at an inappropriate innuendo. A chill crept down my spine as I processed the implications of his words. Seeking refuge in the solace of the back room, I swiftly confided in my manager and April, exposing the unsettling nature of Mark's behavior. This disclosure set in motion a series of events that led to Mark's reassignment, momentarily alleviating my apprehension. However, tranquility proved fleeting as Mark reappeared within the confines of my store, his countenance twisted with anger and resentment. I retreated to the back room, a futile attempt to distance myself from the brewing storm. The boundary I sought to establish proved porous as Mark stormed in, venting his frustrations and laying blame at my feet. The air grew tense, and my resolve crystallized into a solemn declaration of intent to involve both law enforcement and mall security should the need arise. His exit was as abrupt as his entrance, leaving me shaken and on the verge of tears. As the dust settled, my gaze locked onto the familiar face of Will, a beacon of reassurance amid the emotional turmoil. Through trembling lips, I shared my account of the incident, a narrative laden with fear and uncertainty. Subsequently, Mark's employment was terminated, accompanied by a banishment from the premises. In the aftermath of these tumultuous events, the pall of uncertainty weighed heavily. The knowledge that Mark's actions had prompted his expulsion from the mall provided a measure of relief, though it was mingled with a lingering trepidation. This apprehension stemmed from his intimate knowledge of my daily routine, encompassing both my bus route and work schedule. While Mark's physical presence had been removed, his spectral influence continued to cast a shadow over my existence, eliciting an involuntary shiver with each turn a corner. Eventually, Mark resurfaced, his reappearance punctuated by a law enforcement intervention resulting in his apprehension. The arrest signaled an end to the reign of fear that had gripped me in its icy clutches. It was an arduous journey through weeks of anxiety and vulnerability, navigating the labyrinthine corridors of my own apprehension. In the passage of time, the specter of Mark's malevolence has waned, though traces of its impact persist. A lingering caution accompanies me as I traverse the hallways of the mall, a reminder of the fragility of security and the enduring strength of resilience. While Mark's presence may have receded, the indomitable spirit of camaraderie, exemplified by the unwavering support of my coworkers, has proven to be the guiding light through the darkest of hours. The echo of those tumultuous days serves as a testament to the strength of the human spirit, a reminder that even amidst the shadows, we can emerge stronger, united, and unbroken. This incident occurred in the summer of 2000 in the Midwest region of the United States when I was just a 12-year-old boy. Back then, I was quite introverted and found it challenging to deal with conflicts, often feeling my body tremble when frightened. One day, while my father and cousin were working in our open garage, I saw a chance to grab my bicycle and ride it down the street while they exercised. As I pedaled away from home, I noticed another child riding a bike several houses down. He appeared to be cycling in circles. I cautiously approached, maintaining a distance of about 20 feet between us, and there was no interaction, not even a nod. I kept my gaze downwards and continued pedaling. As I completed a lap and headed back down the street, something strange happened. The other kid had vanished, and I assumed he had gone inside. Just as I was about to turn back home, which was about 80 to 100 yards away, a man's unsettling voice shattered the silence, yelling, "Hey!" Startled, I looked up to see a man standing in his front doorway, roughly 25 feet from me. As I rode past him on the street, I couldn't shake the discomfort that washed over me. This man had an eerie appearance, with a baseball cap and unsettling glasses reminiscent of Jeffrey Dahmer. His tanned, burnt orange skin looked dirty and wrinkled, and he seemed to be in his 40s. He resembled a character from a horror film, with a sinister, angry expression on his face. He proceeded to issue a chilling threat. "If you say anything to my son again, I'm going to run you over." Tears welled up in my eyes, and fear briefly paralyzed me. However, my terror soon transformed into an intense surge of adrenaline, and I pedaled back home faster than ever before. I had never encountered such a situation in my young life, and the entire incident left me stunned. I hadn't even spoken to the boy, yet I had been subjected to this unnerving encounter. Upon my return to the open garage, where my father and cousin were still working out, I recounted the unsettling encounter to them. Fueled by a few beers and their muscular physiques, they decided to confront the man responsible for the threat. My father led the way to the man's house, with my cousin close behind. A forceful knock on the door prompted the man to open it, revealing a large Rottweiler by his side, barking wildly and aggressively. Unfazed, my father and cousin engaged in a heated exchange with the man, who eventually retreated back into his house, slamming the door shut. The incident concluded without any further developments that night, and we made our way back home. Several days passed, leading up to the most chilling part of the story. During the summer, when my parents were at work during the day, my grandmother would come over to look after my younger brother and me. On this particular day, we planned to head downtown to grab some food from Sonic. As we got into her car and started driving down the road, we unfortunately had to pass by the creepy man's house. An unsettling feeling began to creep over me as we approached his residence. As we drove by, I noticed him sitting in a red truck parked in his driveway, positioned as if he were about to pull out onto the road. I couldn't be certain, but I thought I detected a sinister grin on his face as we passed by. My unease escalated when he pulled out of his driveway behind us. Panic set in, and I recounted the man's earlier threat to my grandmother. At first, she remained composed, but it became evident that she was growing increasingly disturbed by the situation. Despite making numerous turns in an attempt to lose him, the man doggedly continued to follow us, mimicking our every maneuver. My brother and I huddled in the back seat, keeping our heads down, while the man persisted in his pursuit. Eventually, as we neared the bustling downtown area, he finally overtook us and sped past, putting an end to the unnerving chase. After that day, I never encountered the man again. Sometime later, my parents separated, and we left that neighborhood 2 years later, moving to the countryside with my mother. My father continued to reside in the same house, leaving me wondering whether the unsettling man had remained in the vicinity or if he still inhabited the same residence. I found myself questioning his motives. Was this a mere coincidence or a deliberate attempt to follow us? The entire experience left me bewildered and disturbed, especially considering how he seemed to be waiting in his driveway, as if anticipating our passage. Some years ago, I found myself in a fascinating situation, entrusted with the dual responsibility of house and farm sitting for a close friend's family. This opportunity arose when my friend's younger sibling prepared to begin college, necessitating a family trip to the north end of the state. This departure, which included parents, my friend, and 5 younger siblings, left their bustling farm in southeastern Indiana temporarily under my care. Nestled within the gentle embrace of this rustic landscape, the farm sprawled across an expansive canvas spanning approximately 8 to 10 acres. Here, a vibrant scene unfolded, featuring numerous majestic horses, a flourishing garden teeming with life, clucking chickens, playful goats, and whimsical rabbits, all set against the backdrop of an imagined countryside. Adding a touch of charm and vitality, the farm also housed 4 canine companions, including a commanding mastiff mix, a behemoth nearly rivaling the stature of a full-grown bear. This majestic creature, bearing the weight of its formidable size, guarded the land with a solemn sense of responsibility, contributing to the unique situation I found myself in. Surprisingly and somewhat inexplicably, this massive mastiff had developed a fondness for me. This serendipitous connection prompted my early arrival at the farm, as I aimed to familiarize myself with the daily routines and chores that defined this family domain. In those initial moments of immersion, I absorbed the essence of farm life, painting a mental picture of the collective efforts that sustained the vibrant ecosystem within those fenced borders. To envision the scene, imagine standing on the farmhouse's front porch. From there, a neighboring dwelling peeked across the expanse, connected by a winding horse pasture and the unpaved path of a gravel road. This rustic pathway, resembling a picturesque rural painting, traversed the distance between the 2 homes, a journey spanning perhaps a kilometer or 2. As I contemplated the duration of this journey, a steady pace of around 15 to 20 minutes emerged, providing ample time for reflection. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the waxing moon took its place, I eagerly embraced this new world's daily routines. Guided by the family's instructions, I tended to the farm's demands, fulfilling tasks related to animal care, land maintenance, and property security. Upon completing these labor-intensive duties, a soothing tranquility descended upon the landscape, a peaceful interlude where my role shifted from laborer to observer, from guardian to companion. These peaceful hours offered opportunities for leisure activities, from spending time with the canine companions to tending to the mail. As daylight faded and twilight painted the sky with hues of purple and blue, my bond with the dogs deepened, and my connection with the mastiff became particularly significant. Amidst this rhythmic existence, a particular night unfolded, marked by an extraordinary event that bridged the gap between the ordinary and the unexplained. It was around 3 a.m., when sleep held me in its gentle grasp, that the mastiff awakened me. With a weighty gesture, it placed its colossal head upon my chest, stirring me from my half-awake state. Thinking the mastiff needed to go outside, I rose from my bed, intending to put on my shoes. However, a bewildering scene awaited me. The once stoic mastiff, typically a symbol of strength, now cowered in a corner, trembling with fear. An unsettling chill filled the air, accompanied by an inexplicable sense of foreboding. As I approached the trembling mastiff, I noticed an uncanny drop in temperature. Driven by a curious mix of determination and concern, I ventured to the hallway and discovered an unsettling reading on the thermostat, a frigid 37 degrees Fahrenheit, in stark contrast to the expected balmy 70-degree weather outside. Intrigued and apprehensive, I made my way to the front door, where a faint glow emanated from a nearby window. This modest light revealed a haunting sight. A cloaked figure, shrouded in darkness, stood resolutely in the driveway. Despite the emerging light, this enigmatic presence remained unperturbed, an embodiment of calm amidst the growing unease. A silent standoff ensued, my gaze locked onto this mysterious form, laden with unspoken questions and curiosity. While the figure made no overtly threatening gestures, an aura of otherworldliness emanated from it, defying conventional understanding, a palpable essence that transcended the familiar. Enveloped in profound intrigue, I stood frozen, ensnared in the mystery of this unearthly presence. Amidst this surreal scene, a crucial decision loomed. My friend's father, a man known for his preparedness, had a collection of firearms safely stored away. Among them, a fully loaded 9mm pistol stood as the exception, entrusted to me only for emergencies. Fueled by a mix of urgency and trepidation, I retrieved the pistol and returned to the threshold, its weight a testament to the gravity of the situation. But when I returned to the door with the pistol in hand, the mysterious figure had vanished, leaving behind a lingering sense of emptiness. The mastiff, previously consumed by fear, now occupied its corner with newfound calmness. This shift from distress to serenity, though perplexing, marked a turning point in the narrative, guiding it toward an unforeseen resolution. The night continued with a series of inexplicable events, ultimately culminating in a restoration of equilibrium. Morning's light broke over the horizon, dispelling the shadows of the nocturnal encounter. Summoning my courage, I ventured outside, greeted by the remnants of an enigma that had shaped the night's events. On the driveway, near the spot where the enigmatic figure had stood, an intricate pattern emerged. 2 bare footprints imprinted on the ground, devoid of any accompanying traces or contours. These mysterious impressions defied conventional norms, leaving their origin and purpose shrouded in mystery. To this day, the veil of ambiguity still envelops the nature of that fateful encounter. Its memory lingers, an indelible mark on the tapestry of my experiences, a puzzling enigma without a definitive solution. The inexplicable events of that night continue to resonate, filling me with wonder and uncertainty, a testament to the mysterious aspects of existence that elude human comprehension. A few days ago, my girlfriend and I were nearing the end of an extensive road trip, accompanied by our dog. After driving for an extended period without a break, we decided to stop at a rest area off the freeway. The place appeared quite deserted, save for 3 large semi-trucks neatly lined up. Upon our arrival, my girlfriend quickly headed to the restroom, leaving me with our dog, whom I had on a leash, beside our car. As she made her way towards the rest area's entrance, I suddenly heard someone shouting behind me. To my surprise, it was a truck driver from one of the parked rigs trying to get my attention through his open window. I'm usually friendly to people regardless of their appearance, so I responded to his attempt. This trucker, an older man with gray hair and sunglasses, was difficult to hear over the noise of his idling truck. I raised my voice and gestured to indicate that I couldn't understand him. He appeared visibly annoyed, which was understandable given that I had asked him to repeat himself 4 times. Curiosity about his intentions led me to cautiously walk between our car and the passenger side of his truck. "What did you say?" I inquired. His response took me by surprise. Could you help me find my phone? I seem to have misplaced it somewhere. All of this had transpired within the brief 20 to 30 seconds since we had pulled into the rest stop. I found it peculiar that a trucker would approach a random traveler at a rest stop to ask for help in locating a lost phone. While I was willing to make a phone call on his behalf, I had no intention of entering the cab of his truck to search for it. I can make a call for you, I replied, mixing firmness with uncertainty. However, the trucker persisted, urging me to come up and help him search inside the truck. Suddenly, an uneasiness crept over me. The request had taken on an unsettling tone, and I became skeptical about his true intentions. Fear started to take hold, and I realized that I needed to be cautious. "No, thank you," I responded, my tone firm but slightly wavering. I even entertained the idea that he might be joking. After a brief pause, the trucker questioned, "You won't help me look for it?" Adrenaline surged through me, and I retorted with a more assertive tone, "Leave now." I was acutely aware that I had no means to protect ourselves should the situation turn dangerous. Quickly, I secured our dog back in the car and pulled out my phone, pretending to dial the police. He slowly drove away, but soon returned, inquiring if I was going to call the authorities. Fueled by a mix of fear and determination, I shouted back, "Yes, leave immediately, or I'm calling the police." With my response, he finally accelerated and merged onto the freeway. As the truck disappeared from view, my girlfriend emerged from the rest stop, clearly puzzled by the intensity of my reaction. While I couldn't be certain if I had overreacted, the trucker's request had triggered alarm within me. The mere thought of entering his truck had sent shivers down my spine, and I was relieved to see him drive away.